guys, it's me again, Ruowen Huang. Before I begin, let me first introduce myself. My name is Ruowen Huang. I'm an author, spirit coach, and also a psychic. In this very particular episode, let's talk about the cause of psychosis. But before we get into the topic, let me clarify one more time. I'm not a doctor, not planning to be one either. The reason I'm sharing my perspective is simply give you guys extra reference from a psychic point of view, and hoping to being aid to your current treatment. So anyway, in this very particular topic, let's talk about the cause of psychosis. It's a bit tongue twister for me. So anyway, if you guys know psychosis, it's basically a condition that where your mind and your psyche cannot determine what's real or not real. So a lot of time people would think, oh, they got some mental disorder or etc. Sometimes can be developed into schizophrenia or borderline multiple personality, which we have discussed in the previous episode. So if you guys are interested in those episodes, please refer to my previous episode. But in this very particular, let's just talk about general idea of what caused it. So from a psychic point of view, when I'm reviewing all the cases that I have studied with a client who struggle through psychosis, I do realize that one things that constantly show up. If I, from a psychic, can explain this disorder, I will refer it as once but like deep down insecurity got surfaced out and become their reality. So very often it starts with something very small that you may or may not pay attention, because most of the time when people are firstly struggling through it, they can behave or function like a normal people. But they usually start with like some kind of deep down insecurity that could be I'm not good enough, or I'm stupid, or I have this problem, etc. And therefore, even when they're going out to the world, like function their day-to-day tasks, they constantly believing that's what people perceive them or judge them or criticize them. Eventually, by neglecting or do anything about it, those voices in their heads then become almost like a real voice that they're struggling every day. So while we clearly understand, well, nobody is criticizing you, in their world, those voices are real, because those are the voice or conversation that they've been suffered through, in day-to-day basis, to a point that it start jeopardize their life. So most of the time, by the time I see my client, they have struggled through it for years. That is, even though those in normal people's eye is not normal or it's not happening, in their world, people are criticizing me day in, day out, every day. Doesn't matter where I go, etc. And eventually they will project that on everybody they are dealing with. So if what caused it is, let me break it down, is simply how one's insecurity surface up and start dominate their life. So how can you cope with it, or how do you deal with it? Well, there are a lot of ways that you can actually deal with it. Of course, to boost up one's confidence would really help. Understand, if it's caused by the insecurity, that most likely they are not confident of certain area of their life, or most likely of themselves. So when they start diminishing themselves or their own value, then they will make whatever voices out there to dominate their life. So to boost up one's confidence would really help them on this area. So if you are struggling through this, you start feeling like you're hearing some voice that they may or may not be there, or you start feeling like everybody are projecting you in a certain way, which is what I say is the beginning of psychosis. So this is the area that you can start working on, finding a way to boost up your confidence. And of course, many of you would like to know, how can I do that? It's not an easy thing to achieve. Start with focusing on something that you actually enjoy doing it. So I notice that if I can help clients focusing on something that they always enjoy, that could be painting, or that could be cooking, or that could be doing some DIY craft, or even photography or whatever. Develop some kind of habit that will actually get you to focus your mind on doing that thing and neglecting all the sound. That would be a good start. Of course, once the habit start taking off and then you feel comfortable in this environment, then that's good too. Then second way that I would usually recommend people to do is actually write down the criticism that you believe that people are judging you off, because that will help people like who around you or your friend to understand what it is that you're struggling through, instead of keeping in your head and let it run your life. I would say write it out, because a lot of time once you're able to put it down into words and then your eyes are able to see it or other people are able to see it, they can actually find some way to help you to get over it. So sure enough, if your friend is struggling through this, it doesn't really help for you to tell them don't think about it, because understand that's their insecurity. So by you constantly denying them, it will only shut them out. So eventually they will refuse to talk to you because they will think you will never understand. So the better way is actually try to understand what it is that they are struggling through, and then understand that's their deepest insecurity and how can you help them out of this. On top of that, good sleep always help. If you notice your mind is running, 24/7, never give you a break, if it's necessary to, take some medicine to get you to get a good sleep, that would always be a bonus as well. So remember, if you or your friends are suffer through the psychosis, the best way to do is understand your insecurity, and then find a way to find a habit or hobby or something that you enjoy doing to hopefully get you into that peaceful mind. And then have some good rest, and then write down all the things that you think that are actually going through your head. Reach out, asking for some help or asking for some people's opinion to help you cope with this. That will always be a good start. So anyway, hope that answered your question. Again, if you like what I'm doing, follow, share, and like. I'll see you next time. Bye now.